All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon as we officially share with you the Junior Block Layer program. I'm so excited you could join. My name is Alicia Hodges. I'm the program director for the Concrete Masonry Checkoff. And we're super excited to have Ryan Shaver joining us today. Many of you know Ryan. He's the executive director of the North Carolina Masonry Contractors Association. He also leads the Region 2 effort for the Checkoff with the concrete masonry outreach area of focus. And so Ryan has worked with the Checkoff to develop the junior block layer. It's really his idea. He let us use it here at the Checkoff and trademark it, and now we're sharing it with all of you to use as a resource for you and where you're at. So, Ryan, thank you so much. With that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Alicia. I want to welcome everyone today. Thank you for joining in. I hope I have a chance. If you want to put in the chat where you're from, where you're listening from today, that would be great. Um, Number one, I want to talk about the junior block layer, what the vision is, and then we're going to go through the whole series and show you how it can work in your area and how you can use this for promotion outreach in your area. So the junior block layer, last year I travel a lot, and so I drive a Dodge, so I'm for sure to get there when I travel. But I have what's called windshield time. So that windshield time is my time to think about things. What can we do to reach students? How can we make it better? How can we get them excited? What programs can we build? What support do the instructors need? Just on and on and on. So that being said, about 7 years ago, I started what's called the Junior Bricklayer. I held it in North Carolina. We had a good event. I think at the time I had about 10 teams, a mason and a tender in the Junior Bricklayer. So that got picked up pretty strong across the country, and now there's multiple Junior Bricklayer events all over the country. So why can't we do the same thing for block? And so I looked at that, and how do we formulate the junior block layer where it will fit in every spot across the country, regardless of skill set? How can we reach those students and get them excited? So, as you see on the screen, this is our logo. So, this logo, junior block layer, was built by Clutch and myself, and they did a lot of work on this logo. But I wanted to show the strength of block. Um, that is what my arms looked like when I was 20. I'm 50 now, so all that muscle's gone. But that is the strength that block has in our industry, and I want to really highlight that, especially to our students, and get them excited about that as well. So it's trademarked. Checkoff has trademarked the junior block layer and the logo, which is really good. And we're able to co-brand that. So we can co-brand this junior block layer for any event that we have across the country. And I see Jenny from Iowa. I'm glad she's on here. So we've got a lot of areas that we can use this across the country and co-brand this. So excited for that. All right, so if you're looking at this junior block layer series, the 2025 junior block layer competition is 4 levels. So I'm going to talk to you about the 4 levels in this. This also gives our students an opportunity to get hands-on, which is very important. The hands-on competition I found when I was teaching really gets them excited to not only work harder, but try harder in class as well. So this is going to be built to be used for any event. Let's say that a block manufacturer has a career day at the plant, and I hope our block manufacturer, I saw a couple on here on the chat down there. When you have your career day, this gives you an opportunity to have a fun hands-on competition with the students. That can be day one, and I'm going to show you on this how we've got the series set up. This will also work at a skills competition, at a regional event. There's nowhere that this junior block layer series, one component or all components, will not fit in. So I've tried to build this regardless of the skill set that you have in your area. it will fit all levels of that. And then you'll be able to watch the skill set grow of the contestants year after year after year as you introduce another level and build up to hopefully the team event, which we'll talk about. All right, so you see in this picture right here, this was my trial run, October the 3rd of 2024. And you can see I had 11 teams of three. And you see the line we had all the way down through there. And we did this, we co-branded with an event, the Bricklayer 500 Regional Qualifier Series. And I started this junior block layer team event last year on the whim and idea of what I had behind the windshield one day, and was able to get it to fruition with 11 schools. Now, every student that you see in that long line there, they're all enrolled in a masonry class at the high school level somewhere in North Carolina. So I allowed one team from each school, up to 11, because I didn't have room for all the schools. But I had 11 schools. First 11 that registered were the first ones in, and that happened within 24 hours. That's how quick it was. So each school could bring three students. So we'll talk about how that's set up when we get down to the team event. But this day right here, October 3rd last year, 2024, we had over 500 masonry students that are enrolled in masonry class somewhere in North Carolina on site that day. This was about 3 or 4 days after Hurricane Helene. So I lost a lot of my western counties that day, which was sad. But I had about 400, 350 to 400 students that were not able to come due to Hurricane Helene and school being shut down. One county in particular, school was shut down for almost 3 months. So my crowd was a little off this year on Masonry Ed Day, partly because of Hurricane Helene, but gladly we were still able to have about 500 students in attendance that day. All right, so we're going to start out with the beginner level. So the beginner level can be for anybody. This can be brand new students that have never touched a trowel before. This could be for your students that are starting out in a masonry class. You can, on day one, you can have this, and 2 weeks later, you can do it again and show the skill, how they've gained that in a 2 or 3 week period. But this is set up for everybody. In fact, next week I'll have about 50 architects, 40 to 50 architects in Virginia, in Chesapeake, Virginia, and I think they may do the beginner level next week, just so they get their hands on the material, they understand mortar and block, and understand the concept. Workmanship tolerances, they're going to understand that next week as well. So we're going to talk a lot about that. So this is built for the entry level student, whether it be at a career day, industry tour, anything like that, plant tour, that would be what it was built for. And this is the beginner level. So if you see here, you're going to see Junior Block Layer Contest, the beginner guidelines. We've got all this developed for you. This is in the producer portal, and we'll share that with you towards the end of this segment. But everything is built for you, from what you need to the judging criteria to everything you're going to do for each level. So you don't have to invent nothing, come up with nothing. We have the scoring sheets. We have everything done for you. That being said, here is the beginner level. You have 4 blocks stacked on top of each other. We judge that on 3 things at the end: height, 32 inches, level, top block, and plumb. And we use a step gauge to do so on all the events. So that's really easy. Now, here's what I want to throw at you. If you look at this little beginner guideline here, I foresee us doing this in 2 ways. And this is the way I'm going to do it next week to have fun. You give the contestant a trowel. You let them lay 4 blocks without a rule, a tape, or a joiner, or a level. You get them looking at to see that they need to use their eye to lay block with, and how that's done in the real world. Your eyes are just as important. Your tools are there to check your work with, not beat your work right with, meaning beat the level to get it plumb or beat the level to get it level. Your eyes are supposed to do that, and your level and your tools are used to check your eyes. So I used to pick with my students all the time and tell them that the Stabila level company sends me levels. That way I can make sure the levels are accurate and send them back to them, just to make them laugh. But I really want them to learn that their eyes are very important in masonry. and how that is affected in that. Or you can do this beginner contest and provide a 4 foot level, a rule or a tape, and a joiner and a brush and have them strike it if you'd like. It depends on the skill set of the student or the time frame that you have. So I would suggest give them a trowel, let them stack 4 block on top of each other, have a great time, get their time there, judge them on the 3 other little slight things, bam, give them a score. That is my suggestion, especially for something fun for students to put their hands on. In a classroom environment or where you're teaching the students, that could elevate them in giving them the couple hand tools they need to show them the accuracy they need to get to. So, a couple ways you can do the beginner. But this is the beginner. It's hands-on, and the youth will love this, especially if you start adding in like something like this right here with a junior block layer hat. That would be fun. So there's all kind of things we're going to show you as we go through here that can be added to have a great time. So the next one is intermediate level. So intermediate level is your student that has started in a first year program, meaning either at a high school level or possibly a first year apprenticeship. This allows them to, number one, they've learned how to spread mortar, they've learned how to lay a block, butter a block, but this allows us to see the skill set that they've learned in that first year setting. So the intermediate level will be for that student or that apprentice that's in the beginner stage, but already has built some skill set. Where the beginner stage is what they did day one, week one, but this gives them an intermediate where we can really showcase how far they came in that first year. Um, I think this is going to be a great way to reach a lot of our students and our first year students. So you see this right here with the intermediate guidelines. The intermediate guidelines, it is more challenging for say than just stacking 4 block on. You have 16 CMU to lay. You have a right back lead with a jam on one side on that corner. So that allows them to showcase level work, how to use a square, um, height measurements. You've got to get 47 5/8 on those 3 block. So this actually starts showing some skill set and what they potentially and possibly have learned, and then the progression of how they've learned in that first year setting. So I have a timeline on this that all I'm going to do is say that I recommend, but you as the host, when you're hosting these events, can formulate the timeline however you like. I recommend 60 minutes on this 16 block corner. I think my level one students are very capable of doing that. Now it's not easy, but I think they're capable of doing that. So they have to look at a time frame plus hit all the marks on their scoring. So the guidelines are set up, and then there's another sheet that goes with this that'll be in the producer portal that actually details out how to gauge and how to judge the contest. So all I'm doing here is giving you a highlight of each one, but it's all built in the producer portal for you. Um, like I said, the time can be determined by you. I feel like this could be 60 minutes. If you feel like this is a 90-minute contest, so be it. I've just built the template for you to use, and then you use your judgment off of what you think your skill set of your either students or apprentices are, and formulate that timeline yourself along with the people that are helping you that day. So this is the intermediate, which would be for the completer of a first year prior to them moving on to a second year uh, or third year, either apprenticeship or program. All right, the next one's going to be advanced. So, my goodness, when you think about advanced, this should be the student that's completed that first year in a masonry program or apprenticeship program. They've made the commitment to move forward as a career pathway in masonry. That's their commitment. So we want to show them after they get at the end of that second year that we have something to highlight how far they have came through that program. So this advanced level could be for your second year completer, whether in a program, secondary or post-secondary program or apprenticeship, and your third year entrance for the advanced level. So this one's going to get a little harder. It's 38-inch block. It's got a little bit, and I'm going to show you what it's got. So it's going to take more skill set. more level work, more of everything to complete, but it actually highlights the path and gives that student the encouragement to know that their skill set has really advanced throughout this series. So that being said, so we've got the advanced guidelines. So I want you everybody to look at this project. It has an offset, a corner, inside corner. It caps out with a 4-inch cap. It's got a ton of advanced things in there that I believe will challenge the students enough, but also give them reward in knowing that they have built their skill set all the way to this level. So it's 30 block. Just like on the intermediate, I have suggested 90 minutes for completion, which is an hour and a half for 30 block. I have also let that be up to you as the host. If you would like to go an hour and a half, if you think 2 hours would be better, so be it. Like I said, this is a template for you to use that hopefully we have got everything covered for you. But if you need to adjust anything, feel free to do so. But this should give you a good understanding of an advanced project here. So if you look at this project, I like this project. I helped design this project a few years back for one of our regional contests. I changed a couple little things on it, topped it out with a cap block because that is a CMU unit and it levels really good. So I can really get on there and do a definite level point. But I can also plumb this in a lot of places because I have a lot of plumb points. So if you look at that, and we know our manufacturers on here, their material is perfect. So we should be able to plumb both sides, correct? I'll let someone answer in the chat if that's correct or not. But I think we need to describe one side that we do all our plumbing on, meaning either that's the side that faces the mortarboard, but that needs to be a face side. So I have that detailed out in the guidelines as well on the judging. So just look at that when you're running this advanced guideline or advanced level on this contest. So there's the advance. So that gives you a little idea of how we come up from beginner to intermediate, and now we're at advanced. So that's a pretty good project to test the skill set of a student that's in that pathway, that's been through the other levels, but also is getting close to being a completer, which is what we want before they go straight into the job site, which is what we all want, is students heading to the job site full time. All right, the next level out of the four, this will complete our series in the junior block layer, is the premier event that I feel like that I tried in North Carolina last October, partly because I have a lot of students that are ready for this team event by the time they get to be a senior in high school. They've been through 3 levels of masonry. Their hands-on skill set is wonderful. So this is what I tried last year. There's going to be areas in the country that aren't ready for a team level. That's okay. They can start at the beginner and then give the students a pathway to move up to this team level. So let's talk about team level. I love team. Team is really good for me because together everyone achieves more. So I built this that way where you don't have just one person that can hold a trowel or one person that can do a task. It's a team effort, meaning the material is set up in a spot for them and they have to set up their own wall, put out their own mortar, set their own mortar boards up, get everything ready, and lay the wall. All 3 of them can lay. One of them can lay, 2 of them can lay, 2 of them can strike or join. It doesn't matter. It's a team effort. This went over really, really well last year. And that picture that I showed you when we started off, that was my 11 teams. So it scaled that down where every team had a different plan of action. And that was what was so fun, especially for our masonry contractors that were on site that day and were actually judging that day. So you got to see the different plan of action for each team and see how each team actually made it happen in the real world, which is what we want them to do when they leave us, is make it happen in the real world for our industry. So this team event is super strong. Let me talk to you just a hair about the team event. This is 36 8-inch block. All right. We have a time frame of 20 minutes to complete. That 20-minute time frame is adjusted in a score every 30 seconds. So if they Finish in 20 minutes, they get a score for that. But then if they finish under that in 30-second increments all the way down, it affects their score. So realistically, the faster they get done, the least amount of deductions they have, the better their score is. Just like in the real world, if we get a job done, it hits all standards on quality, everything's done, then that's good because we're moving on to the next job. We've completed that. So we want to build that teamwork with the students and show them that reward. That being said, last year I had three students from Jesse Carson High School. Uh, they were all three seniors. They had came through level one, level two. One of them was in level three. The other two were completing level two. Those students built this wall in less than 14 minutes and had the least amount of deductions of any other team. So they were the clear winner. So you'll see this is one of my teams right here, how they compete. And each one, you got two of them laying. One of them's actually probably over there striking. No telling what their game plan was. But this is what makes it fun. You'll see each team has a different game plan, and how we have everything set up. But this is what makes this competition strong. The crowd's hollering, the schools are excited, everybody's going crazy about wanting to get done but get it done correctly. So this puts you a new twist on a team event where it's actually all three working together. And you see the one gentleman there in the middle, not the one laying the block, the one right behind him. He's got a magnet on his tool belt that holds his trowel where he doesn't have to set his trowel down. So that magnet holds the trowel in place while he's number one laying a block. Then he can just grab his trowel. So that was pretty neat. I wanted to highlight that. So each team comes up with different techniques, which their instructor helps them a lot with. They practice that at school. They get it honed in, get it perfected, and then they get to come out on this stage and really show off what they can do. With CMU being highlighted number one primarily, which is very important. So that the next picture is our judges. So if you look at my team of judges there, I've got I've got a good team of judges. This was one of the team of judges that I had. But what I really want to highlight is I want you to look at the workmanship of the walls that you see. There's nowhere in the United States that workmanship wouldn't pass on quality. And that's what really excited me that day. So the students' workmanship was phenomenal. The time frame they completed in was phenomenal. And we really highlighted the benefit and strength in block during this competition. So I had one of the judges, he's in the middle there. He's a great guy. I'm not going to name his name on here. Some of you may recognize him. That's his good side. If he turned around, it'd be terrible. But he came up to me so excited and he told me, he said, this was the best student competition I have ever seen in everything and anything we've always done. And he has helped me with a ton of stuff in the last 30 years, and he's seen everything. He and I competed in apprentice contest way back in the late 80s, early 90s. So he's been around, and it was truly a good competition to highlight what the student skill set was, and how they had grown in that. So that leaves us down to the last slide there. And like an old gentleman told me, he said, "Son, you got a face for radio," and I really do. So the face of our CMU checkoff is Kim Spawn. So if you see what I did there with the Junior Block Layer logo, I threw Kim in there, so she's block strong today. She's showing off her strength. But what I'm telling you is, everything that I've went over plus a lot more is in the producer portal. So I'd really like for you to look at the producer portal, go through that. Uh, if you see anything, please reach out to me that if you have any questions. But know that we are here for you. We want to see this happen across the country. I want to make sure that every region across our country has a junior block layer event this upcoming fall. In Region 2, I hadn't shared this a lot with Region 2, but I've got quite a few Region 2 people on here. You are going to run a junior block layer event this fall. I know Dustin loves getting prepared. I've got mine coming up October the 2nd, which everybody's welcome to come and visit and see how I run that and see what I do with our Masonry Ed Day. So you're welcome welcome to come free of charge, and we'll buy you a hot dog. So October the 2nd, which is on a Thursday. So just look through this, go to the producer portal. There's a lot of information there for you on the junior block layer. I've tried to get through this. The last call we were on a while ago, we went over and then had no time for any question and answer. So we've got plenty of time with this, and I want to answer any questions possible. So I know it was a lot of information to go through very, very quick, but know that it is there for you and for you to use and for you to co-brand with. Nobody owns this. We all do. This is for each and every person on this call across our country to use and highlight, number one, to our youth, the career potential that they have in masonry, but number two, how strong we are as an industry together and what we can make happen together. So, without any further ado, I'm going to ask for Q&A. So, Alicia, if you want to pop back on and we'll go through. I don't know if we had any come through while we were on, but I'll be glad to. We'll try to answer any questions that come out there.
Yeah, I don't see any questions yet, Ryan. I would say not everything is totally in the producer portal yet. Maybe give us to the end of the week to get everything in there. But how it'll work is you'll just go in and, type in that you have an event that you want to do, and then we'll send you the guidelines in the producer portal. There's a question that has come through. What would you say is the most rewarding part of this program?
Watching the student skill set growing, seeing them excited to actually be laying block. So think about that. How are you going to excite your student? When I was teaching full time, how do I excite my students to do what I'm passionate about? Number one, I have to be passionate about it to pass that on where they feed off of that. But number two, this actually gives them an excitement piece for that. So let's use another instance. So I've got a hammer here, and I don't know how my screen's going to grab it, but if you can see how it's been logoed, first place, junior block layer. Do you know how far that right there will go with students and the excitement level you would get out of them and the instructor? So have that for first place, second place, third place. Hats, t-shirt. I used to pick with the teachers and say, how they asked me, how do you get your students to do? I said, do you not ever put up a t-shirt at the beginning of class and say, all right, whoever does the best on this day going to win this t-shirt? You'd be amazed what a hat or a t-shirt will do for a student. So to answer that question, we as industry get to watch that, but I want to build that excitement in those students to get them coming our way.
Yeah. And I would say too, certainly the checkoff wants to know, with this effort, um, the successes you're having too. So we will find a way for you guys to report that into us to say we did this one of these, this is how many students we were able to connect with, and here's some of the successes. So we'll develop a way for you to report that as well. It looks like John was going to write a question, but I don't see the full question yet.
John may can type as fast as I can, so it may take a second.
Oh, John Lorando asks, when did you say your October conversation is scheduled?
So the event in October is Thursday, October the 2nd, 2025. And it's in a big spot in the road in North Carolina, Central NC, called Gold Hill, North Carolina, at Ben Catchy Park. So to answer your question, John, I'd love to have you come on. Ben Catchy Park, I can send the details. We're working on getting everything hammered out now. We had our first group meeting a couple weeks ago, so we're excited about that day. Masonry Ed Day, let me give you this, and that may help you a little bit as you're thinking about possibly um, having an event in your area. This is our ninth annual Masonry Ed Day, and this was another one of those windshield ideas that I had. And I thought, why can't we bring students together and show them what they can't see in the classroom setting in real life and get them excited to be there that day? Have a ton of raffle, have a buku of vendors. Last year I had 22 vendors set up from anywhere from Milwaukee Tools to, and I want hands on. And when I tell my vendors, if you show up with a table and stand behind it, you're not welcome. But if you show up and you put the kids doing something and get their hands building, that's what I want. And that has worked out really good in engagement of those students and building that excitement. So the first year we did this, we had 165 masonry students, and I thought that day I had whooped the world. I mean, we were tickled to death. Fast forward, we're going in our ninth one. We'll be looking at the neighborhood of 800 to 1,000 students on site that day. So all that being said, you got to start somewhere and get started, get the kids excited, and you'll see the growth happen uh, immediately.
I love it. Um, Stephen asked, as a masonry contractor, do I have access to the producer portal? That answer is yes. It's just on our investor relations site. You do have to build an account and then we'll get you access. Brett asked, I'm happy to see that time constraints are placed on each level of competition. Did you set the block counts in time based on real world lay rates from the field?
Yes, and to answer your question, there is no time limit on the beginner, meaning I did put a time for scoring, but the beginner doesn't matter. But on the intermediate, advanced, and team, absolutely. So if you and that rate can change. Lord help. I've seen companies as low as 120 a day. And I've seen companies in the field rate way on up there. So that rate can be looked at a lot of different ways. So, but yes, and then I will let the host, like I said in the presentation, depending on your area, what you feel is more comfortable, do it. You know, if you feel instead of hour and a half they need two, push it to two. If you feel instead of 20 minutes they need 30, push it to 30. So whatever fits your area, I would answer that way. That's open to you as the host to know that what your area can do. Good question.
Great. Paul in the chat asked, if you run 4 events on the same day, what's the best way to manage that?
Well, it's called organized chaos, Paul. Um, you have events where one's going to finish up while the next one may be striking out. We do it where it's jam, slam, fun filled, packed all the way through. So you may be finishing one when another starts, but you look at this. We do the junior bricklayer and the junior block layer and the regional qualifier all at the same event, all within 2 hours of each other. So you may have to start the intermediate and advanced level 15 minutes prior to doing another level, but you can make it happen all the way through that if you work with your time accordingly. To give you an example, the students arrive with us usually around 8:15 in the morning. I get them started as soon as they unload the bus. 90% of those buses need to be back on the road at 1 o'clock that afternoon to be able to be back to their school before school's let out. If not, it's considered a different type of field trip, and that puts the brakes on a lot of schools being able to travel. Now, they can leave prior to school starting, but they have to return prior to school being let out. So you need to look at that in your area as well. Travel time and try to build everything in that time frame. But I have a lot of schools that will cut out around 12:45 because they have a 3 hour ride to get back. So you just have to play that, but pack it in there, run what you can, and some may require some overlap.
So guys, I know Ryan's directing here to the producer portal. There's a couple things that we need to get correct in there before we go there today. So we'll send you an email probably on Friday with a direct link to the producer portal. So you can go get this material and get junior block layers under the way or underway. Ryan, I just need to say a giant thank you to Ryan who came to me with this idea, said the industry needs it, was very selfless with it. And just as he said, we all own it, right? And so this is going to be a really great program. Basically, everything you need to know is packaged and almost ready to go. So thank you, Ryan. And thank you to Clutch too, who helped with the trademark, the logo, the look of it all. Specifically Anna Shavonic, who's on in the background here, did a tremendous amount of work for this. So thank you. Ryan did the Kim edit himself, which is super creative. So great job, Ryan. And I can't wait for her to see it. She's gonna love it. So
That's right. I was scared that she may threaten to fire y'all if y'all did it, but she can't fire me, so she just has to put up with me.
yeah, there we go. Well, everybody, thanks so much for joining today. Look for an email from us later in the week. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.